All right, hello to anyone who could be watching this. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. It's pretty rad, if I do say so myself. Check out gauntlet-rpg.com for all things involved with Gauntlet, including, blogs, forums, the podcasting network that the Gauntlet has. There's also the gaming zine that the Gauntlet puts out called Codex, which usually contains supplements to existing games or more often than not original games in itself. And the most important part, at least for me, which is the Hangouts calendar to which these games are arranged. This is all right. Okay. So technically this is session 5, but I have in my notes as session 4 because I labeled session 1 as session 0. So that's really confusing. This is the 5th session. Okay, the 5th session, but the video is going to be labeled session 4. I'm sorry. Beam Saber. That's what we're playing. There we go. That's the most important part. We're playing Beam Saber, a Forged in the Dark game of mecha warfare by Austin Ramsey. You can check out the link below for those who don't know. Forged in the Dark means this is a hack of Blades in the Dark by John Harper. Where instead of playing, thieves and scoundrels in an industrial fantasy city, you are playing pilots in a squad piloting fantastical war machines in a seemingly intractable war. Caught between factions, trying to fulfill your own drives, your own ambitions, trying to figure oneself out. So all that good uncertain stuff, and yeah, so this is the 5th session despite the labeling. So I would suggest, like, if folks don't know who the characters are, if you're just jumping into this, I mean, actually this would be a fairly decent jumping on point because we're going to be starting a mission and you get to know these characters through action. But I would suggest for those jumping in to check out the rest of the series because there's some great stuff beforehand. And yeah, so before I kind of like jump into the mission, get everyone to like frame like the opening shot of their characters as they're preparing for this mission, which I will detail in full in a minute. I do want to talk about the safety tools that we're using for this session and this series as a whole. First off, I ask folks to look through our lines and veils. For those who don't know, lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on them. Like it happens off screen, or to get maybe a sentence or two, or we just don't focus the camera on them. And there's also stuff that's asked first, which basically, if we're gonna like put them forward to the table, we should like poll the table first. That includes myself. So I'm gonna ask folks to have a look through what's on the docket right now, see if it's all good, because it's a living document, so we can add stuff in the future. But if that all looks legit for yourselves, just say okay in the chat. But if you think of something that you might want to add in the future, feel free to add that in and message me so that I can like shout it out for folks. So yeah, have a look through those. Also, I've added an PC tab because I figured I can't be arsed just posting images all over that sheet. Maybe I'll post pictures of mechs. There we go. No. Okay, the other safety tool that we're using is called script change, which is a series of commands that does like modulate the fiction to our comfort. I'm sorry, my grip static is cool. I don't make the rules. So basically, the relevant commands are in the Roll for Your Party, which I just put a link in the chat. I'm just going to go through them real quick. First up, there's rewind. Basically, if we call for a rewind, it's because you want to back up to a specific point in the scene and do it over again, avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind. It could be any issue, like a name or a general tone, or even just like the scene itself. And you don't have to explain what the issue is or why you have an issue with it. I might ask some questions on what it is, but we'll respect the rewind. We'll try back and we'll roll back and try something else. There's fast forward, which you call on for if you want to like fade to black. And advanced time is needed to avoid content. Like it's kind of part of the Veils thing where it's like, yeah, we don't need to linger on this. We don't need to like see this. We can just fast forward, et cetera, et cetera. And there's also pause, which you can call for if you need like a break. And there can be a variety of reasons. It's kind of part of the open door policy we have on this table where like if there's an emergency you need to take care of, or you're more tired than you thought and you just need to step away, or you need to like take a bio break, you can call for a pause. And you can call pause at any time, like even if like I don't know, you are grappling underwater with this giant sea dragon mech, or even a sea dragon, who knows. We've talked about Pacific Rim a while back. Even if you're in the middle of that, if you really need to go, we'll pause and we'll figure something out. It's perfectly fine. You can also call pause for a variety of reasons, like maybe you need a break from an intense scene, take a bio break, or even for like looking for clarity or discussion about the game or what's happening in the game. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so last time we did a lot of downtime. Downtime was good. Downtime was fun. Now I need to get back into the business of war, so to speak. So I'm gonna lay out the mission, and then I'm gonna kind of like go to the character keeper and like ask folks like frame up a scene, or not frame up a scene, but like what do we see of the characters like preparing for this mission. But I'll lay out exactly what the mission was proposed for last week. So a squad in the Church of the Celestial Myriad, which is the faction y'all work for, came to you because y'all were dicks to them 2 sessions ago, and they're like, all right, so Church has asked you to like make up with them, so here's a mission. Should clarify, this squad is the Cenotaph, which is kind of like the, some would say body retrieval squad, but in a more humane thing. They don't leave bodies of your comrades behind. The Cenotaph has come to the unnamed recon squad with a request for backup. A recent incursion into Exodus Incorporated territory has discovered that an auction is to be held at a private yacht journeying down the river of Journey City. Ostensibly, a party is being thrown to celebrate. A party is being thrown apparently by one of the companies, specifically one of the squads, specifically Alderman Mergers and Acquisitions. But secretly, there is a secret auction for something quite valuable: the corpse of a Myriad soldier. The Cenotaph wishes to retrieve the corpse of Abello Fausto before it can be sold. And you find out that this person is I guess now former friend of Naga from back in the day, and that they were the pilot of a mech called the Miracle Engine Frame X1. So that's all relevant to some people. I'm sure we'll find ways to make it all relevant to other people. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of the mission. The objective is to retrieve the corpse of the X1 frame pilot, Abello Fausto. The target is Alderman Mergers and Acquisitions. I'm going to add that. Whoever added this mission, target, task, and rules thing in the safety tab, thanks very much. I'm going to add the info there. The mergers and positions. Task, retrieve the corpse of a Belfasta. And yeah, and I think the rules of engagement kind of like filter in, kind of like as y'all are preparing, because like obviously the Meridian's like, you can't do this. And the commander of the Cenotaph, who kind of came through the mission, has kind of added their own rules of engagement. So first off, no firing on anyone unless fired upon. It's kind of like stealthy, I guess, as stealthy as mechs can be. No civilian casualties. As in, basically, don't treat every person on that yacht as a possible, like, enemy combatant. You're going down this river, and it's kind of iffy as well. How many civilians there are not? And the last one, and this one I think comes not from the cenotaph, but from your superior, the Meridian. If retrieval is impossible, destroy the corpse. So I'll try to make a face there. So that's the rules of engagement. Okay. All right. So let's see kind of like what we see of characters preparing for this mission. And feel free to, like, describe like what they look like for folks. What are they doing? And this is a small shot. This isn't going to be exactly what you're doing to prepare, although it could be, because you can always gather info, figure stuff out before we go into this mission. So I'll defer to whoever has an idea first.
I had an idea involving interacting with Naga a bit. So if you had a scene for her in mind, I'll wait for that first.
Trev, is that okay with you?
Yeah, I don't have anything in mind right now, though. We're on. It's a boat, you said, yeah?
Yeah. This could also be the point where, like, you want to gather more info about, like, who can be involved here. I mean, theoretically, we can just, like, Beckett, go to engagement. There's an auction in a yacht. Who knows? But this is kind of like the really free-form part where, like, you're going to be, like, unless you want suggestions, which I can absolutely give you suggestions.
So I think, like, what Naga would be interested in would be finding out maybe what the layout of the boat is, like where the where the lots would be held aboard the ship and that sort of thing. What security measures there are.
Okay. How is she doing that? This could be a variety of things. Like, this could be an action, or this could be another ally you want to call upon.
Survey doesn't really work.
I mean, you can still roll surveys. Just you can still roll any action you don't have like a dot in. It's just when you roll an action that you have 0 dots in, you roll 2 dice and take the lowest.
Like, my first thought would be to ask my hacker friend if they can they know any way to get the schematics or that sort of thing.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still absolutely do that.
I just don't know how to bring Verb in on that.
This could be, I think Verb's thing might be a separate scene from this.
Yeah.
I think that's what Mike was proposing. Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, you parted off in friendly enough terms with Rip and the Rubble Runts. I think, like, she does kind of, like, ask, like, telling me, is this, and I think you're probably just communicating. I don't know if you're actually meeting with her. Unless, I don't know.
Like, I'm just gonna straight up tell her, like, some rich fucks are trying to sell Bella's corpse.
Right. That's crap. That's really crap. Give me a second. Let's see. Let me see what I can find. So I think for allies, what you do is you roll the tier of their squad. Basically, if you have a tier 2, you roll 2 dice. Basically, that's what it means. So that's why higher tier squads, when they roll their dice to make fortune rolls, you don't want to be facing up against a tier 4, because then I roll 4 dice and see how well they're doing. So yeah, Naga, why don't you roll me 2 dice for the Rubble Run to see what they can find about this yacht.
Okay. It's a 4 and a 5.
Okay, so on a 4 to 5, you get good intel. You get good info, basically. And I think she says, like, okay, let's see, who would be interested in this? Yeah, the Council of Nor really should work on their firewalls. I see they've already rejected the invitation. They sent their own spies. Okay, let's see what I can find. Okay, lovely. Okay, all right. Nice to know that even though they're a clandestine corporation, they've got, they send out their rules, and they're in very clear. Oh God, hold on. Give me a moment. Let me redact all the pointless bits out, just for you. And I think, yeah, she sends you what you can find, which is that this is like a 3-story yacht, for sure. And there's just gonna be a party in. Basically, all the decks are gonna be party decks. Basically, everyone's gonna be milling about, talking to each other, whatnot. But at some point, there is going to be the auction is going to be like a silent, clandestine one, where you kind of like put bids in, by dancing with the right people. Apparently, they've designated a specific, like, auctioneer who you have to dance with, and you have to place your bets, and you won't know who's the highest bidder. It's all you're just gonna have to, like, go in there, and get lucky. I think she said, I think Rip's like, okay, I'm trying to figure out if your friend is going to be there. Give me a second. Okay, it says here, like, at the end of the auction, you will be delivered with the item in question as soon as the auction is over. So she might be there. Actually, what are Abello's pronouns?
They.
Oh, they. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't note it down. So they might be there. It's a very good chance they're there, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that will definitely help. Thanks.
You're gonna be okay?
I'll be fine as soon as I know Abella's in safe hands.
I normally don't advocate for the less subtle approach usually. I like slipping into things quietly, but these don't sound like good people. Naga, they don't really sound like good people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am not allowed to cause civilian casualties, I believe is how they put it.
Well, what's the church definition on civilians?
I need to ask one of my colleagues about that, I guess.
Well, whatever has to happen. Look, just this isn't right. This isn't right. Just do what you need to do.
Oh, you know me.
All too well. All right, so that's some good info. It's useful to declare allies. Apparently, you just create an NPC. It's great. What about Crux or JD? What are y'all doing to prepare for this?
I want to set up an ambush.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna basically scout the river and look for places where like a yacht could only it's only deep enough in this small area or the small channel, or like places a person could hide or a mech even could hide like along the banks.
Ooh, that's really good. I'm gonna say that there is actually no. Usually, I was gonna say there's an obstacle to this, so it's got to be an action roll. But nah, it's gonna be fine. You're a scout. You're good enough to do this surveying stuff. So this is gonna be like a gather info. Again, that's what's called a fortune roll. Actually, no. If it's setting up an ambush, no, this has to be an action roll.
Yeah, I mean I have survey, which I assume that would be what
Yes.
this is.
Yeah. Also, your ranger ability, when you gather info to locate a target, and I'm gonna say this is part of it, which is like locating what's the best spot. You'll get extra effect. I don't know what that means for a fortune roll because I changed my mind again. This is gonna be a fortune roll because you're good at this. Sorry, I've just had coffee. My mind is incredibly changeable apparently at the moment. I'm sorry. But yeah, and you get +1 effect. That means like even on a 1 to 3, you're still gonna get good info, for sure.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm assuming that like we see JD just kind of like on the edges of the bank watching the river.
Yeah. There's probably maps, that I can get that would show like the depth and, any narrow channel. But yeah, I'm looking for a good place to hide that can be underwater or that can be on land.
Okay. Yeah, roll me your survey.
Sure.
Also, whoever sorted out all the
I only
dice,
have one.
thank you so much. Yeah, but
I have
with your
one, okay.
ability, you still get good info. Yeah, like you're gonna get a step above.
Oh, that's good because that's a 2.
Okay, cool. So you get the equivalent of what Naga rolled, a 4 to 5. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 2 spots that you can hide your mech. One is in either of those 2 bridges. If you go to the safety links tab, you look at the map. There are 2 bridges there. So your mech could like hang underneath.
Cool.
Like a moth would, just kind of like drop down, which is super cool. And another one would be underwater underneath that broken bridge, the third one. That one is more likely, you're less likely to be spotted, but because it's farther, it's far out into the ocean, like you kind of have like a presumed time limit of this yacht making it out into the open seas. So it's closer to them escaping. So you've got 2 spots, and I'll leave you the choice. Oh, I'll give you something else as well. While you're scouting out this area, JD, the river is a bit unsettled, and you swear you saw this bulk moving under the waters. Just like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I mean, someone that sounds like someone already had the same idea I did, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just there. I'm just saying. It could be friend or foe. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's another thing to keep an eye out for. Very cool. Okay.
So yeah, you don't have to decide which spot now. We can decide.
Okay. Yeah,
I'd
I'd like to listen to other people's plans and ideas first.
Yeah, that's a nice thing that you can declare in a flashback, like, oh, I put my mech here, or oh, I've bribed these guards already, or oh, like flashbacks aren't something you can't like redact what's happening with a flashback, but you can add to it with a flashback for sure. You can say, oh, we have planned this all along. Oh, I stashed a car so I can get out of here. Oh, I put my mech here, that sort of thing. So yeah, you don't need to decide now. All right, so Crux and Verb, what are you doing to prepare for this mission?
I think that Crux might be exploring the various like entrances into this area, because I'm looking at our squad sheet. I noticed that we have secret routes. I was thinking about doing something with that.
Yeah, I think for using those secret routes, I'll give you an extra effect on this. As in, same thing with what JD did. Like, if you roll a 2, you actually roll a 4 or 5. That sort of thing. So, yeah. Actually, I'll let you roll, and then depending on the dice, I'll let you like tell me what Crux finds. Like, what action would you be rolling for this?
Let's see here.
You've got some good looking out for trouble actions.
Yeah. So would that be? Do you think that would be survey or?
Yeah. When you survey, you observe your surroundings and predict outcomes. Yeah, like if you ever need a definition for the thing, just hover over. Spot it there. Like there's notes there, so if you hover over the actions, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So that's 2 dice. Let's see what you find out.
Cool beans. I'm gonna roll some of these 2 turquoise die. You will select. So I got a 1 and a 4.
Yeah, but because of the extra effect, thanks to your secret routes, that's gonna bump it up to a 6. So yeah, tell me what you find, Crux, scouting out this like river bank. If you don't have ideas, like I have ideas as well, but I want to know what you think Crux finds.
I feel like there is actually like an underground system here that connects to our subway, like in our base. And I think that it's probably like, I think that you have to dive down into the river, and like there's like a, I don't know, kind of manhole thing that kind of spits you out into the subway system. But you really have to go looking for it. And I think there are a couple of entrances within that.
Yeah, it's a good way to exfiltrate, to get out of a tough situation, for sure. Yeah, I think there's probably like there's a sunken tunnel in the subway, and yeah, I think because of the 6, I think, and also because of your secret routes upgrade, probably only you lot know about it. As far as you can tell, no one else has kind of been through here. So it's because of the 6, it's a completely secure exit route. So if you need to get out of there, with hopefully with a corpse in hand, that might be the way. Is that good for a 6? Hell yeah. Jeez, everyone's surveying. Everyone's doing really well. What about Verb? Is it time to do that scene with Naga?
Yeah, so I think this scene is kind of like mirroring her scene with Rip Static a little bit. So I would start with, I know I'm not one to advocate for the subtle approach very often, but Naga, I know I'm not the leader of our squad, and I don't have any authority to put you in charge, but we're all standing behind you on this one. And I wonder what place I might fit in this mission. The Echo Canyon is a very flashy vehicle, and, well, I've been described similarly. I would hate to jeopardize the mission, your mission.
And to be honest with you, Verb, I'm not sure how subtle I feel about this.
Anime eye glint. Ding.
Not allowed to hurt them, but I can sure as hell scare the crap out of them.
Indeed. Well,
Think you can pull that off?
perhaps we should make use of that refit station that we had initially held off from sharing with the cenotaph. If I make use of it, it might justify that course of action.
What
I'll
have
see.
in mind?
Fear. A precious resource, but one with the correct tools can be easily gathered. I'll get to work.
Scared. Oh, Verb is a trip. I just realized looking. Oh, go ahead.
It does occur to me that we're probably going to need, like, I don't know whether anybody has this on their mech already, but we're probably going to need, what is it?
Passenger space.
Yeah, that.
The nice thing with having that refit station is that, like, at the start of a mission, someone can just like swap that out for free. Usually, it costs material and time to swap out gear for mechs, but that refit station, like, someone can declare passenger space this mission, and the next mission be like, all right, we just take that out. It's fine. We got this station. We didn't give it to the cenotaph. It's fine. Also, I just realized looking at the squad sheet, y'all leveled up. So we should take an advance for the squad, which again was gonna. Sorry, I just saw that. I was like, oh shit, y'all leveled up. Damn. Okay, all right. Let's do that first before we jump into this, because this could be helpful. Okay, so as always, yeah, so actually, we've been here for the top of the hour. Actually, we might take 5, because it doesn't look like to anyone who's watching this, we've been here for the top of the hour, but we've been here for a while. So maybe let's take like a 5-minute break and have a like think through the squad abilities, and then yeah, we'll see if like anyone needs to gather more info, or we'll be jumping in. So be back in 5. And we're back. Okay, so yeah, sorry to interrupt the mission prep, but yeah, y'all got another advance for your squad. So as a reminder, that comes with either two upgrades to your base or one special ability. I will say you can also choose a special ability from another source if you want to have a look through that. Let me find the Google Drive where all the sheets are again, because I don't have the time to reveal every single other squad sheet that I've hidden. Or if you just want to take one of those from the recon stuff. Here it is. Yeah, sorry for because I want to do square this way just in case you can get an upgrade that's helpful for this mission. You can also get what's called a cohort, which usually costs our fire team, which costs 2 squad upgrades, but that might be a bit more complicated than what we need for this mission. So what do y'all think for your advancement? If you want to do this later and we can just go on and do the mission, that's perfectly fine with me as well. I love one of these abilities, just you get safe passage in space. So you're all good in space. So I assume if you don't have that, it's not going to be great.
I don't have any ideas right now. Don't know if anybody else has anything.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, there is a lot you can have. Sorry, I'm just scrolling over some of these. Black site. Commissary. You can up the quality of your weapons, so that means this will count for competing against enemies of different tiers. Let's see, trophies room. So
The personal clothier just cracks me up. I think that's so funny.
Yeah, I set this up being you can do social band, mingle with all the rich, terrible people, but that doesn't seem to be the direction everyone's going, which is perfectly fine with me. But man, personal clothier, yeah, that means here.
Verb can update. Verb can update her very wonderful cape.
Well, I don't know, that's a mech size cape, that requires upkeep and an entire station to fix up. Yeah, if you don't have any ideas now, it's fine. We can move on for the moment. Actually, let me look at some of your mechs. Not everyone's refreshed their quirks, I think. Yeah, everyone's good. Personal clothier is always fun, but that depends. They're all going to be rolling that many social plans. Let's see. Side business, good. Well, would you be running a side business? That's the thing. Trophies room is pretty neat.
Oh, we're still looking for
Yeah. It's a lot of choices.
what was that? A squad advancement or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I just want to square this away just in case it could be useful. Again, if you have questions for like other things, like quarters means y'all actually stay at the base. Otherwise, y'all don't sleep at the base. Which we may or may not have been assuming, but basically, if you don't have quarters, you sleep at more vulnerable places. It's the gorilla hideout. Ooh. Get +1D. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if the recon team is gonna do much assault. Well, it could. Who knows? Who knows how it goes?
Okay, so we had taken a. Oh, sorry, Lara.
Go ahead. I was. Yeah. No. Go ahead.
We'd taken like a squad upgrade, but now we wanted to upgrade our base.
Yeah. Oh,
right, because we took the schmooze or whatever that name of that one was. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. You can also take another special ability or 2 upgrades. Like it's never like you have to go back. You chose one, now you have to choose the other.
Okay.
It's always either or.
It might be kind of cool to have a cohort. I don't know. We don't have any of those yet, and that could be interesting.
Yeah. Just to remind folks what cohorts are, they're basically people who work for your squad. They are it's basically another not faction, but like they'd be people who work for you. Let me find the definition in the PDF. That's not it. Gain a fire team, which is a group of agents or a specialist. Yeah, minions, basically. Yes, Laura, you're absolutely right. Minions. A cohort is a fire team, which is a group of agents or a specialist, an especially skilled agent that works for the squad and is directed by the pilots. So yeah, you could. Yeah, minions or an Igor. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and creating a cohort costs 2 squad upgrade, 2 upgrades, which is you could have gotten a personal clothier or a trophies room or a testing facility, but no, you got minions. How does that sound for folks?
I'm cool with any of them. I don't really have none of them is jumping out at me as a good idea. So
Maybe we can figure out who Naga spends her time playing cards with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jeez, did I put down a name for that person? Oh yes, I did put out a name. Then I actually used it for the commander of the cenotaph. So I have to think of a different name now. But yeah, we can absolutely like flesh it out. You could do with some allies. Okay, so let me run through the process. So, do you want to make a fire team, which is a group, or a specialist, which is an especially skilled agent, who basically is kind of like a pilot, but like a notch down below because they're not a main character. Perils of being an NPC. So yeah, which one? Yeah, so yeah, which would you prefer? Having a group or having like one person? So yeah, basically, minions or an Igor.
I mean, minions seems more flexible, but
Group.
How does it sound for Lara and Mike? Minions sound good? Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all want an Igor, but not specifically an Igor, that's like, you can always declare an ally. If you want your own Igor, not the squad's Igor. But they're not really.
Double check.
Oh, go ahead.
If we'd established like with Naga, like if she was playing cards with an individual or a group, I didn't know.
I think it was a good group.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a group poker game or something like that. Whatever space poker is.
All right.
Like
Next is you're gonna pick the cohort's expertise. What are they good at? So for the fire teams, they can either be adepts. Let me start listing them, which are basically, you know, academic scientists or mechanics. They can be rooks, which are spies, con artists, socialites. You know, people who hang around in parties, diplomats, that sort of thing. They can be rovers, which are like drivers, astronauts, urban spelunkers, people who get you moving, basically, or who can move you to different places. They can be skulks, which are like thieves, scouts, infiltrators, you know, people like you, basically. Or they can be toughs, which are like killers, bouncers, warriors, your proper beat you up kind of henchmen. So which one do you think this group is? God. Oh, Verb. Sorry, for those just watching this, people are listing out what kind of games they play that are cards. Apparently, Crux plays dominoes with the rats in the Come on, Crux, come on. All right, yeah. What's the expertise of this group of card sharks? Apparently,
the obvious one would be skulks, but it could also be toughs, like you know, for you know, to back us up, basically, if we get in trouble.
yeah. That could be interesting because, like, you know, more skulks means like, yeah, more people like yourselves, but maybe you need someone who can cover up for what you're not good at.
Yeah. Like toughs would make sense, I think. So would adepts, like as mechanics or something. As often as we probably damage or nearly destroy these mechs. I don't see a whole lot of use for rovers.
Yeah, you're not really all about the transport or moving things.
Yeah, I mean, this is all taking place in the same city, right? Like,
yeah.
It's not like we have to go to different planets.
I vote for toughs. I think they'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So toughs. Figure out a name for them. For now, they're just the toughs. Actually, wait. Nope. I wrote down toughs where their name is meant to be. Expertise toughs. Okay. Two more things. First, you're gonna decide one or two edges for the cohort. Edges are like, you know, what makes they're good qualities. So first is there's fearsome. They're terrifying in aspect and notoriety. They're independent, able to make good decisions, take action without direct orders. They're loyal, can't be bribed or turned against the squad, or they're tenacious, won't be deterred from the task. I'll say right now, depending on the number of edges, either one or two, you will pick an equal number of flaws to the cohort. So the more they're good at something, the more they have good qualities, the more they have bad qualities.
I mean, more good and more bad is more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But
also, I will say cohort can be one of those things that can be taken, requisitioned by another squad if you land on that entanglement again. Yeah, let's see. They're a squad that works for the church, or not squad. They're a cohort that works for the church, but they seem to be just regular Joes. It seems like, given they're just playing cards, lay people. To use more Catholic Church wording. Sorry about that. Sorry, I grew up in the Philippines. Can't be helped. Yeah, which one of those do you think? Those four.
I'd like independent.
Yeah, they seem quite independent. At least if they were playing cards. does that sound for folks? Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good.
Anyone want to add a second edge, or is that good enough? Let me give you the list of flaws.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, so flaws are oops, just realized that they're gonna bleed into each other, those two lists. First one is brutal, excessively violent and cruel, eager, will act without orders for the squad's best interests. Principled, has an ethic or value it won't betray. Obligation, not always available due to other responsibilities, other things to do. Or they're wild, which is, they're drunken, debauchery, loud-mouthed. So at the very least, you will pick one of those flaws.
I mean, wild stuck out to me right away, but I don't know. Look at these rowdy card playing folks.
Rowdy, violent, and independent. Like, this seems like a combination that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, maybe they're not a full squad because they don't seem as devoted to the church as you all seem to be, even though only one of you is.
Did we piss off the church at some point? So they gave us these people.
Yeah, they're like, here's part of your penance is to have to look after these people. Let's see.
I don't think they necessarily have a terrifying notoriety though. I imagine they're pretty tough, but I don't imagine that they're the squad's or the church's hit team or whatever. So I think we'd be okay, but I could also see throwing in some extra twists there if we really want to show that they're loyal or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, absolutely, you can interact with them. We'll start fleshing them out, probably either in this mission or throughout downtime and whatnot. I'm gonna give them a name, at least for the name of theirs. Actually, it'll be weird. They got a name before y'all did. I think they're called the Harriers. Just leading into the whole bird shtick. Yeah. So when you need to use them, so I've got them down. They're toughs. They're the Harriers. They are independent and wild. And when you want to use them, we'll get into that when you need to use them. Cool. So that's one squad advancement done, and yeah, we'll see more of them. I'll probably get y'all to maybe flesh out a member each. But when we use them, but for now, if we use them in the mission, we're going to use them as a collective, for sure. Okay. Does anyone else want to do any more prep before the mission or find out stuff? Y'all ready to just do this, or is there anything else anyone wants to do?
Do it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm out.
Okay. So let's go to planning. Where is that? This is not what I wanted. I will say the allies thing that I mentioned, when you can call in an ally to help, that you can do that in the middle of a mission as well, just in case you need I don't know. Oh, there's someone we know in that yacht or something like that. Okay. Let's find the engagement. Where's that? Oh, it's right at the top. Here we go. Okay, so you have the target, which is Alderman Mergers and Acquisition, which, for our mind folks, that's the squad that JD found that Dust Die is working in. They're a corporation that does information. That's their thing. They're the target. The objective is to retrieve the corpse of Bello Fausto. Rules of engagement are no firing on. Hold on, let me find it. No firing on anyone unless fired upon. No civilian casualties, and if retrieval is impossible, destroy the corpse. And I guess now we look into the tactic, which is basically the kind of plan y'all are gonna do. So if you want to go to it's all in your character sheets, like row 66. So there are 6 type of plans: assault, attacking them; deception, which is tricking them; stealth, which is not even letting them know you were there, just getting in there, getting out there; scientific, which is usually has some sort of weird, almost magical like effect, like say, oh, we've got these AR that's create this like weird digital effect, or oh, we've hacked into their systems and have created a weird digital. Why is it that that's the only example I can think of right now? Weird digital effects. But yeah, scientific is kind of like the replacement for what will be in Blades, the occult plan. So basically, scientific's for the weird stuff. Social, which is be just upfront with them, talking to them, getting through to them, or transport, which is moving things, getting from one place to another. Each of them needs like a detail. The detail is mainly there for something to flesh out in case the role goes well, goes poorly. I will say like plans don't survive first contact with reality. So like you can plan for like a social, then have to go into deception. You can plan for the assault and then have to go stealth, or you can plan for stealth and have to go scientific in the middle of it. This is just basically the initial approach. So how do you want to approach this yacht?
Seems like we're maybe angling toward stealth. Or are we going for deception? Or just straight up assault?
I guess there's lots of choices.
Just break that rule to begin with assault there.
I'll say like when you break rules of engagement, you lose trust with your employer faction.
Which is why we're doing this mission in the first place. So maybe that wouldn't be a great idea.
Yeah. I would say just add like some more detail because like I think I forgot them. Like this, I mean, you can totally say, "Oh, we have an invitation." You can say you declare an ally, or you can say stuff. Oh, the cenotaph got an invitation, or something like that. So there's other ways to do social, but you can do but you can also do stealth as well, because or something like that.
So just to be forthright, I'm intending for Verb to show up in like a crazy spooky mech and like basically like boogeyman the boat. So I mean, and maybe Trev, you can kind of mold this how you will, but we could use this as scientific and get some hollow projectors or like discordant noise, like vibration waves or whatever that like unsettle people, or other kinds of weird science bits, or it could be a distraction, setting up for an ambush from JD down the line, like, and then we go more sneak in and grab things, or it could be a smash and grab if you want to do assault. Like, what do you think?
So my thought was deception with like mechs menacing the boat being a distraction. While the team on board, we have a team on board and they secure the body.
So I'm imagining the distraction and would be like maybe Verb and JD, because JD already has an ambush set up, and then Crux and Naga sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like good proportioning of people's strengths.
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah. So that sounds like deception, or stealth deception. It's fine. Okay, let me see here. Okay, cool. All right. Now you got a plan and you got the detail, the broad strokes of the detail. Don't worry about finer things. That's what flashbacks are for. Once that's done, everyone picks their pilot load, or their loadout. Again, a vehicle's load does not change between missions as it is set when the vehicle is created. And also the gear doesn't change except for... just got a message. except for one vehicle, which can remove a piece of gear thanks to your refit station. But like, unless you want to remove, it costs points, basically supply points to change gear, because mechs aren't people. You can't just like swap out its gun for another gun, or at least swap out the suite of rockets on its shoulder. You can't just say, "Oh, I don't have that anymore." It's spent. It takes time to replace that. But pilot loadout, that's always different for each mission. Well, it's a nice thing with Crux is like their mech is a backpack, so just bring it in there. Okay. So I'll let y'all pick your pilot loadout, which it's on row 33 around column AO. Okay. Okay. Close this. Steam, why are you updating? I don't want to update right now. Steam, what you doing? Okay. All right. I guess once everyone's picked their load, has everyone picked their load? Okay, once they've done that, and then yeah, we'll just go into the engagement role. Play jumps right into action, and we catch up with the squad when they encounter the first obstacle. Right, so engagement roll time. First, you start with 1 die for luck. It's a fortune roll basically to see how well the squad is doing when we cut into the action. And then we add dice, gain for advantages and disadvantage, or remove dice for disadvantages. So, is this mission bold? Well, you're gonna menace this ship.
Yeah, it seems like a not bold plan would be to, just attend the party and as opposed to like appear in a giant mech.
That is true. That is true. So yeah, take 1 die. Yeah. You definitely did. Oh, like I said, I prep for a situation, not a solution. So this is absolutely fine. So get extra die. Is this mission especially complex? I don't think so. It seems simple enough. Distraction, 2 stick. It's kind of like what you did last time, honestly.
How complicated is the distraction though? Like, is it going to be pretty like elaborate, or is it just going to be like, "Hello, we are here"?
I think it's gonna be like, "Hello, we are here." It sounds like.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't lose a die for that. Does the mission exploit the target's vulnerabilities?
I think the fact that it's a boat and it can only go in one direction is the only vulnerability I'm exploiting.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, like you don't know how many people there is, who's there, what their security is. So, I'll say no. Is this mission's tactic ineffective against the target? I don't think so. I think you can totally pull this off with this approach you're doing, the stealthy, deceptive assault, as Mike put in the chat. Does the squad receive external support for the mission? They did with RIP. So that's 3 dice. That's +1. Is anyone interfering with the mission other than the target? Yes, I will say that right now. So you lose a die. Yes, there is someone there. Again, are there other factors that affect the mission? It's a squad. I think that 2 dice is good. 2 dice seems good. Who wants to roll this one? If no one nominates anyone, I will nominate someone. Naga, you do it. Sorry.
Two 5s.
All right. So on a 4 to 5, we are gonna start in a risky position. So I think when we like cut in, this yacht is just rounding that bend, headed up near towards the first bridge, I'll say. Near there. I'm only saying it's not going to reach there because, again, it's up to you, JD, for you want the moth thing to either be at the bridge, underneath the bridge, or at those two bridges.
I don't
or...
think it'll be at the first one.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this yacht's just headed towards, like, it's just coming under the first bridge. It's like this sleek, weird chrome thing. What if Apple designed yachts? That sort of thing. It's kind of weirdly rounded. Like it looks like it doesn't have any edges, which I guess what most yachts look like these days. Except so imagine that, but chromier. I think the sun is just setting, or at least whatever daylight there is in this world is just about setting. The sky is transitioning from like this dark burnt orange into like a weird purple as it comes into darkness, and there's just merriment in the yacht. Like people are just chilling out. It's like a party yacht, I suppose. It's not a really very sophisticated kind of party. There are people in like weird fashions, kind of like the Capitol, the Hunger Games. They got like really weird out there kind of like stuff. Some of them have like cyber monocles, just really hammered that they're kind of shit people. There's like some dancing going around. There are people who are like furtively looking around. There are certain people who are holding court. You can tell they're important people, for sure. But yeah, I think they're coming up to this bridge, and I guess I'm gonna ask each team how you make your approach, and then I'm just gonna like tell you how you're gonna be in a risky position. So I'm gonna start with team infiltrate, or unless you come up with your own team names, I don't know. Team introverts. Sorry. Well, okay, no, Naga was trying to like. Well, she's introverted because she doesn't want like she has other preferred teams. Anyway, not that Verb or JD aren't introverts, but there are people come to them to hang out. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know why I named them that. Now they're just that in my head. Infiltration squad team. How do you make your approach from like underneath this yacht? I assume, yeah, or at least how do you make your approach?
So, like, I think I'm probably gonna like have like one of those. I can't remember what the name of it is. Like the scooter, the underwater scooter.
I think you're gonna hold on.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna like ride under the surface up to the boat in that.
Yeah. Crux, you following along? Or are you just holding on to Naga? I don't know.
That's what I was gonna ask. I think that if it's okay, I think the Crux would be holding on to Naga as we scooter our way to the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I know how to put you in a risky position. So I think we're in mission mode now. So Naga is now vagabond. So yeah, I think you scoot up underneath the yacht, and you'll find like Rip gave you the schematic, so you know where to like get in. I think you end up in like deep in like the engine deck level. It's like when it's all I don't know if you switch from like spec ops gear to fashion gear just in case, but I think the risky position y'all gonna be in is just that um, they're not just like the engine crew, which I'm gonna say like you probably skirt around, but you find there are these like let me see. Oh, damn it, did not save the image. There we go. You find that like wandering around the engine crew, there are these like it's an image here. There are these like strange like trench coated like people wearing these like weird helmets. Kind of like they've got this like weird, like almost not cuboid, but like a rectangular kind of like helmets wandering about, and you can tell they're kind of like on the lookout for intruders. So that's a easy enough risky position for an infiltration squad team. What about team? I don't know. Team spooky devilish
go.
distraction. There we go. Team spooky. There we go.
Team Spooky. What do you think, JD?
I think like the initial thing is pretty much Verb's deal.
So I'm imagining it's like twilight or dusk a little bit, you know, and they have like all the lights outside at the party and everybody's like enjoying cocktails and whatever, and like there's a full moon, right? And so gosh, I'm going extra today. Okay. I'm taking inspiration from Gundam Death Scythe, right? Who was like basically a giant robot Grim Reaper looking fellow. I put a link in there. And yeah, so like when they later like released this Gunpla model for like like this, they didn't give a name in the show, but like when they sell this model, it's going to be like Echo Canyon, like Fallen Angel mode or something, you know. So like I've had my armor replaced with like shiny black armor, and like my cape is like black now, and I've got this giant like two-handed like scythe with like an energy blade coming out of it, right? That's like the sort of pink, the same like pink kind of energy as like her saber, but like yeah, she just sort of like appears, and she has like these hover thrusters so she can kind of like float over the water a little bit. And yeah, that's sort of like her dynamic entrance.
JD, are you at your mech waiting for the ambush, or are you? Where do you think you'll be?
You know, I think I am, although remote control, vehicle control is one of the load options, and I might take advantage of that. But I think to start with, I'm like, yes, staying out of sight. I think, I think I'm underwater at the broken bridge, just like blending in with the rubble. Or I think my mech is underwater at the broken bridge. I don't know if I am.
Yeah, you can declare where you are.
Yeah, that'll
later.
be yeah. Mm-hmm.
That could be really helpful. Maybe you can say, "Sorry, I shouldn't come up with ideas for you." But yeah, I'm just imagining that maybe you did get an invite. I don't know. Maybe you knew a person. Okay, here's how you're in a risky position. I think as soon as Echo Canyon Fallen Angel edition comes in, I think we get a shot of like JD's mech. What's the name of that mech? Ooh, Sphinx. We see a sight of them like curled up under the broken bridge. I think when you come out, when I think you see that there is this like bulky kind of like thing underwater, just kind of like swimming about. And when you display yourself, Verb, this the yacht kind of like just not the yacht itself, but like the yacht is kind of like, you can see there are people that are being like, oh shit. This round object the small round object kind of bursts from the water. It kind of like looks up to you, and you see it's like this weird kind of like drone orb thing. It's got this mechanical kind of like eye that's shining this light and looking at your mech Verb. And then from the perspective of JD's mech, you see that the shape of this big hulking thing is like it's like this giant robotic anglerfish. And its eyes kind of like open up like spotlights, and it's searching underwater to see if there's anything there, which will include your mech. It's like, imagine like what if an anglerfish was like, its aesthetic looks quite different from a corporate like mech, because you saw the Takuma mechs and the Distance Eater, all like, what if Google designed them? This angler mech looks more rusted, it looks more like a steampunk anglerfish, kind of like all rivets, and it looks barely like held together. But yeah, it's gonna sweep the underground as this like drone eye is kind of looking at you, Verb. And yeah, I think you're getting a sense of what security, what kind of security this yacht has. I think when I'm gonna go to the infiltration squad first, and then come back to distraction squad. Actually, I might take another 5-minute break because I need to pee. Something I just felt the real urge to pee. So we'll take another 5-minute break if that's okay with folks. So we'll BRB. Okay, so kind of like back to team infiltration. I'll say like as soon as like you probably hear Verb's mech do their like big distraction, you can. I'm gonna say the two of you aren't spotted yet, but you can definitely like just skulking around these like engine corridors. It's all quite cramped. It's not as like nice as whatever is upstairs. You can hear like some of the crew being like, "Oh, what's happening? What's happening there?" And then you hear like one of those like wandering dudes in helmets, kind of like just say like, "Don't be alarmed. There's an enemy threat outside the yacht, but we have prepared for any and all possible threats. Do not be alarmed. Do not be alarmed. Do not be alarmed." So, yeah, you're in a risky position. What do the two of you do as you're skulking about? I can also say there is like loud music on the floor above you. The music has not stopped, even though the distraction is there.
I think in the plans that the schematics that we got from RIP, there's some ventilation ducts that we can use. So try and find one of those nearby.
Yeah, I'll say yeah. You can find those. I think you'll find one easily. I think the tricky part is trying to figure out where your friend may be, because as Rip said, she didn't confirm, only that could possibly be here. It probably is, yeah. It most likely is, but like you don't know where in the ship.
We could try somewhere where they would keep a manifest.
Okay. Crux, are you going along with this, or do you have like another idea, a different idea?
No, I think that I'm following Naga's lead Vagabond's lead on this. I think they're leading the mission right now.
Okay. All right. I think what are you rolling? This might be a group action.
Feels like prowl to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think prowl. I'll say prowl if like you want to be unseen. It might be a different action if you want to like better quickly find it. I think if it's gonna be prowl, it's gonna be a bit risky. It's gonna be a bit risky, limited. I'm gonna get a 4-step clock to finding your friend. Let's see.
What about if it was survey?
Yeah. It was survey. Yeah, I'll bump you up to standard. I'm saying this because like prowling is about sneaking around, but it's harder to do that when you don't know where you're going. You know.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, survey. I mean, you could do it, but you're gonna have limited effect. Yeah, this is part of the negotiation. Like survey, you have less dice to roll, but you can push yourself, get a collateral die, all that fun stuff.
What do you think, Crux? Because we'll be doing it together, so
Yeah.
You have 2 survey, Crux, and if any one of you gets success, both of you get the success.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm liking. I personally am liking survey, but I'm flexible.
we can go with survey.
Oh, yeah, all right, so that bumps you both of you to risky standard. So it's 2 dice. Do either of you want to push yourself or take a collateral die, or both to get an extra die? This is like 4 dice in total we're rolling. So
I think I'm good with where I'm at.
okay, all right. So
I'll stick with my 1.
okay. Oh
For
yeah,
now.
3 dice. Yeah. Yeah. So and Naga, you're the leader. So if anyone takes a miss, you get a stress. This is part of like group actions. Again, this is the everyone infiltrate the same building kind of role. If anyone gets success, all of them get a success.
Is that everyone, including me, that gets that? If I fail,
No, let me double check that. Actually, let me double check that. Let's see. For each participant that rolled 1 to 3, so yes.
okay.
So yeah. We'll start with Crux because you have 2 dice. Roll normally 2d6.
All right. I'm gonna use the 2 turquoise ones. All right. That's a 5 and a 2.
Okay, cool. And Naga roll Vagabond. Roll d6.
I get a 2.
All right, cool. So you get the 5, but Vagabond, you get a stress because you are leading this action. All right, 5 in the standard gets you 2 ticks. Finding a bellow is one thing, but getting her out is another thing. But to 5, so you get a consequence. Okay. As you navigate these vents, Vagabond. I think actually the both of you, this will be pertinent to the both of you. I think you hear like this hurried conversation. One of them is sorry, one of my consequences in my back pocket is deploy another Crux, but you do hear oh wait, no, let me look at my prep. Nope, wrong character. Never mind. Sorry. Deploying another Crux will have to wait for another day. I got too excited. You hear 2 voices. Sadly, one of them is not Crux. Sorry. You hear this like soft-spoken, rather young woman's voice, just going. We still don't know who took the bait, but rest assured, we have everything. We've prepared for any and all eventualities. I have absolute faith on Cordelia to take care of intruders. And then the person who answers back, Vagabond, what does Abel Pembroke sound like? Your rival.
So in terms of voice, I'm thinking like something like he's got a sort of youthful, enthusiastic voice. Think like Burke from Aliens.
Nice. Yeah, I think you hear him answer back. For those who don't know, Abel Pembroke is Vagabond's rival, an agent from an Exodus agent, member of the Regional Development Council, who is kind of like they're like the board basically. So great people to be involved in. I think he just says, "Well, I'm very sure you took all precautions, CEO. After all, this is quite a big coup you've landed on. I'm sure. I have faith in your attack dog's capabilities. We can't really discount Cordelia's capabilities. It's just I hope you're not just relying on her." And I think the woman's voice answered saying, "Oh, don't worry. I've made sure that the assets position is heavily guarded." And I think those voices like wander away. So what you get from this success is that wherever Abello is going to be the most heavily guarded place. But the consequence is that your rival is now in play. Now, let me explain a bit about rivals. Because they're a bit different from what they usually are in Blades. In Blades, you kind of just like mark off like, oh, here's a person who'd be against me. Rivals get their own like page in this book, which is amazing. So pilots have very intense lives, leads to very intense encounters with other people, and sometimes these interactions lead to an antagonistic connection. There's a person out there that you just can't stand, and the feeling is mutual. This is a pilot's rival, which is to present a challenge whenever they're on screen. When a rival becomes part of a mission, they will always be an obstacle for the pilots, and overcoming them is represented by an 8-tick progress clock. That's a minimum. So I'm just gonna make him show up. Abel Pembroke is his own clock. There we go. God, I love clocks. Rivals, no matter how friendly, are never to be taken lightly. And here's the other ridiculous thing about them. Let me find the wording. Okay. Rivals are very dangerous both during missions and between them. A number of times per mission, equal to the number of pilots on the mission, a rival can inflict a consequence at any time. So I can just say, you take level 2 harm because of what Abel does. And I can do this 4 times. Rivals are tough going. They are meant to be, your arch nemesis when they show up. And the only way to permanently, they can't be like, killed on screen. The only way to defeat them is to use your drive clocks to change their circumstance so that they're no longer your rival. So they're around for the long haul. So Abel Pembroke's gonna be there, and I'm gonna inflict a consequence just to show how this works. I'm gonna say, I think as they're leaving, Abel just says, "Well, if you don't mind, given that I've already brought my my own personal contingent, that there's just some really interesting upgrades that the Development Council had their eyes on, and I was hoping to get a chance to test them at your yacht, at your permission, CEO." And the software's like, fine, Mr. Pembroke, that's fine. And I think as you kind of like wander around the vents, you see like the blokes with the weird headgear. They've got this like neon lines that were green. And because we're suddenly in a video game now, the lines turn red, and it's kind of start looking up around the walls and whatnot. The two of you are now in a desperate position. So that's the example of a rival just inflicting a consequence. Okay, so you are halfway to finding a Bellophile. So let's go to, if that's okay with folks, let's go to Team Spooky. Okay. Verb, you're in your mech. This drone eye thing is kind of like looking at you. It's kind of like zooming close. It's kind of like looking around at you. The yacht has kind of like stopped for a moment. And I think this like rather tinny kind of like electronic voice speaks up from the little drone eye and just says, "Identify yourself."
I would like to like reach out and grab the drone and like crush it with my mech hand if I can.
Okay, all right.
Is it too big to do that, or?
No. It's you can absolutely do it. But it's just gonna make a roll to see if you actually do it because.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see. This what are you rolling? Sounds like a mech action.
Yeah, it might be either manipulate or destroy.
Ooh. It's probably manipulate. Destroy, I realize like the definition, like it should be destroy is a bit too broad for what it actually is, but just like overwhelming force. It's destroy would be like destroying crushing a building, you know, or like carpet bombing a space. Destroy is for like taking down big objects, like smash a building with a wrecking ball, carpet bomb a military base. If you want to like a battle is kind of like for like fighting mechs. That's what it is. This could also be manipulate. You can like grab the orb. This seems more likely.
So I think I'll just kind of take the scythe, like one hand off that, and just reach out and try to grab it.
Yeah, manipulate. That's a risky standard, I'd say.
Okay. I do have one die in there.
Yeah. Do you want to push yourself? Take a collateral die.
I will accept a collateral die.
Okay. I think the collateral is gonna be the yacht is going to start moving again. I'm gonna add a 6-step clock to the board, which is the yacht escapes. If that clock fills, it's gonna get out.
Cool.
Do you want to take that die?
Let's do it.
Okay, hell yeah. Love racing clocks. Okay. Cool. So you got 2 dice. You can still choose to push yourself to get a 3rd die.
I'm gonna hold off for now.
Ooh, JD, do you want to assist in some way? Like, would you be able to assist from wherever you are?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let me look at my equipment here. I might have something useful.
Let's see.
Would this count as firing before being fired upon?
I would say you have a hollow projector on your mech. Maybe you can beam some sort of image to distract what was clearly that angler mech underwater.
Yeah, that sounds good. Why not? I'm probably too far away to do that. Yeah, okay, hollow projector.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed, yeah, you also have drones. Huh.
Do I have?
Yeah, if you go to row 45.
Oh, hey, look at that, I do. I don't know why they separate them into these 2 columns, and one column is much longer.
Oh, the longer column is like, that's generic gear. Everyone has that. The other one is special gear. That's only for your playbook.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So no one else has drones, except for you. Meanwhile, the other, like, I'm looking at Crux's sheet. One of their vehicle gear is like optical camo. You know.
Okay. Well, if I have a drone carrier, I am going to use a drone rather than a hollow projector.
Yeah, just like shoot a drone. What do your drones look like?
Let's just go with the bug theme and say mosquitoes.
Oh, a giant moth shooting out mosquitoes. That's horrible. God. Yeah,
I
that
think they
counts as
normally
assist.
just sort of cling underneath the wings, almost like bombs on a plane, you know.
Yeah, I also look at the chat. Yeah, did we break our ROE? You didn't shoot them, technically. You're crushing this drone. All right, yeah. So you shoot these mosquito drones. That's going to be an assist. That will cost you 2 stress because you have 2 beliefs about verb.
Sure.
But you can give them a die, increased effect, or better position. Right now they're at risky standard. Just to remind you, like risky will go up to controlled. Controlled means that like basically if it goes wrong for verb, it's not going to be as bad. Like controlled is like the least bad position to be in. Effect is how much effect they have. Standard would go up to great, which means they will absolutely crush this thing.
How many dice do you have? Let's go with an extra die.
Okay. You can still choose to give them position and effect because you have 2 beliefs about them, so you can give them 2 benefits.
Also increased effect.
Yeah, risky great. 3 dice. See, it pays to hang out with your friends. Just saying. It costs you more stress. Like instead of usually it costs 1 stress, but now it costs 2.
Oh, that's fine. I have no scars yet, so
Oh man.
no problem.
Okay. I forgot you came in here with 3 stress. Cool. All right. Verb, you got 3 dice. You're now at risky great.
Okay, first one was a 3. I'm gonna roll my other 2 here.
Oh my gosh.
A 6.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's great. Whew. Yeah. So, fuck it. You take this drone and he just kind of like, yeah. I think, yeah, it just cracks without like much resistance. And I think what this does because of your 6, it's gonna make this mech surface. But I want to know if like Verb has any taunts for it.
Oh. Yeah, so like it says identify yourself, and it's just like slowly like cracking it, and like fissures of light are like erupting from it. I think my identification would be like, I'm your worst nightmare, or something really corny.
Okay, here's what it's gonna do. I think JD, from the perspective of your mech, you see this like steampunk anglerfish. I think it hears that, and it kind of like it does this like baying kind of like sound that kind of like reverberates across the river. It's kind of like a big sonar kind of sound as it kind of like surfaces up. You only see like the ridges on its back, and you can see ports are opening up, and you can see like small guns are like coming out of the port. But you're in a very good position, Verb. I think you're fine. This is okay. Is gonna make another cock surface up, which is yacht security, which this mech is gonna be a part of. I should give it a name. Problem is, I have a name for it. It's just it's weird to like say, oh, this is the name of the mech out of character. Actually, not fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. This is the Malefica. Horrible sounding name. But yeah. All right. Looks like Team Spooky are doing well.
So clearing this clock is going to represent us taking out security. Is the idea?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's a good clock. I'm gonna actually separate the clocks you want to fill from the clocks you don't want to fill. So yacht escapes is gonna be way over there. Those 3 are clocks you want to fill. Like you fill up any of those, you take care of their obstacles. Cool. So we move to team infiltrate. I think you can almost feel the sensors of these like dudes with helmets. They're coating around the walls. You're all down in a desperate position. I think Crux, I'm gonna ask you to like take the lead. What do you do now that there's like things are just a bit more desperate?
Okay, so where are we again? We are like,
In
are we
ventilation.
still in that lower level?
Yeah, you're in like ventilation ducts somewhere on the lower level. I'm gonna say you probably were moving. I say because you're in the ventilation ducts, you kind of have like rain, not free reign, but like you can move around the yacht.
Okay.
I'm kind of like abstracting this a bit, but the reason you're in a desperate position is because these like people in the helmets have kind of like upgraded their sensors or something. They're like sweeping the yacht for intruders.
Yeah. I think that I'm going to try to. I'm looking to see if there's like a thing that I can use on my mech that would maybe like create a kind of orb around us that would make us like that would whack out the sensors and not let them pick us up.
Yeah, you've got electronic countermeasures.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I'll try to activate that.
Oh yeah, what does that look like? Oh, you got your man.
My backpack.
Yeah, I feel like mech purists are gonna be after me for letting you carry your mech. Like, is that really a mech? Kind of isn't, but I don't care.
The right attitude, it can be anything you want it to be.
I don't know. I need what kind of attitude do I need to make this fork a mech? Technically it's an extension of me, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, sure, I'll let you do that. Okay.
No, so I think that I have a little like there's like a little button on the inside of my backpack. And so I think I kind of reach around and press it, and I think that this kind of orb of like blue light kind of surrounds me and Vagabond as we're like creeping on through. So it's like we kind of look like we're running around in our own little hamster balls. We're just kind of like making our way through the ventilation system. And I'm assuming that the body that we are after is currently being is like where the music is, right?
Could be. That's a good assumption.
I think that that's where I want to head. Like,
yeah. I mean, let's see how this roll goes. But it's probably. I mean, if it's success, it's probably gonna be there. I'm just saying. Yeah. What are you rolling with this? This is technically a mech action. You're using your mech.
yeah.
I can feel like whatever anime fandom this show would have be like, that's not a mech, it's just a backpack with tools on it. Kind of is, but who cares? I don't care.
I don't know. I can. My thing has a little like thing where like I have like a command thing. There's like a little orb that when my legs activate out, I'm kind of surrounded. I mean, I'm still in a backpack, but like it's there.
It's there. Okay.
It's there.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. Okay. What are you rolling with this?
Let's see.
Can a helmet qualify as a cockpit? I can see this being like maybe like a pilot action. Maybe you're interfacing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you're working with electronic equipment, making an extension of your body. Yeah, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so you're in a desperate position.
Great.
Yeah, I want to say this is desperate stand. You're up against a tier 4 squad, not tier 3 squad. This might be desperate limited, but you have a friend with you who can maybe assist. Come on, Naga. Come on, Vagabond. You wish for helping out this team.
I don't know how to assist though.
Maybe you've got like the schematics. You can like tell Crux where you need to go, that sort of thing. Or just bolster them because like, what are your beliefs about Crux?
Let's see, Crux.
That might not be helpful actually.
Need someone looking out for them. Just rather wouldn't be me. could stand to loosen up a bit more. Like, maybe I'm sensing nerves and I'm like, no, you got this. You got this. Just...
All right, so that's 2 stress, but you give them 2 advantages. You want the extra die, better position, or better effect? Or the desperate limited right now, let me just say.
Better effect.
Yeah. And they
So
only have
take
1 die in interface.
I take 2 stress or 1 stress?
2 stress.
2 stress.
Yeah. So you're giving them better effect and another die?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, Crux, you have 2 dice now. Do you want to push yourself as well?
Yup.
Okay, that's 2 stress.
Cool.
All right. Desperate standard. You get a success in this, you will fill up that find a bellow clock.
So this is 3 die.
Yes.
All right, I'm rolling all those turquoise. All right, we've got a 4, and a 6.
Hell yeah! All right. Heck, sorry, I clicked something and this cock just filled itself up. That's weird. It's creepy. Hell yeah! So first off, because you were in a desperate, you rolled a desperate action, mark an XP in your resolve track. Whenever you're in a desperate situation, you mark XP, and yeah, I think when you kind of like when the 2 of you make this like electronic countermeasures kind of like orb to protect the 2 of you running around. Like, how big are these vents? Proper movie style crawl around kind of vents. And yeah, I think you will find onto the music, and it is kind of like this like dubstep remixes of classical music. So imagine Moonlight Sonata with a few more wub wubs. It's kind of horrible. You're in this like kind of like fairly big rectangular kind of like ballroom space. I'd say it's decked up to look like a ballroom space, but it's more like a rec center turned into a ballroom kind of vibe. That's what you're getting. And there's just some again, those Hunger Games capital kind of people and their weird outfits and their like weird dyes. And I think right at the center you see this like tall pillar, this tall kind of like metallic kind of like pillar, big enough to hold a person. And you see that like 2 or 3 of the dudes in helmets are kind of like surrounding it until you see like there's a person marching up to them and like shoot, go away. This person is kind of like looks rather young. It's like a young woman, like just looks like she's just barely out of college. She's got this like she's got like this small build, early 20s. She has blonde hair that's like very carefully framed around her face, like just looks incredibly plastic. And she's wearing this like suit that's kind of like in this striking gray turning blackish. It's very space age. It's kind of what it looks like. And she just kind of like shoos away these guards that are like Abel Pembrokes. And she's just like looking up at this pillar and kind of like takes out the data pad. It's just, well, there's merriment around her because there's a lot of people around here as well. But I think you can tell this is like whoever the CEO is that Abel Pembroke was talking to. You don't see him around. But yeah, you've located Abella. Good luck getting her or getting them. Let's come back to Team Spooky, and then we'll come to what Vagabond's doing. Okay, I think because since Verb rolled an action, I'm going to turn to JD, or at least JD's mech, wherever JD may be. All right, so JD, the Malefica has surfaced up, so it's no longer looking for you. So you're technically in a controlled position, I'd say, because like you're not in complete threat, or at least your mech isn't in complete threat. What do you do? It could be as simple as like, shoot the mech. Like I'm down for that. But then again, you're breaking ROE if you do.
Right. Actually, I'd like to investigate this this mech a bit more, because it doesn't look doesn't look like anything I've ever seen, and I don't know, like, okay, who else is getting involved here that isn't us, and like it seems like maybe a third party is here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although the yacht seems quite unfussed by the appearance of this mech, but yeah, it does look completely different from others. Okay.
And I have these mosquito drones, so I think I'm just like, I'm gonna land one on it.
Nice. Yeah. So what action are you rolling? This is a mech action.
Seems like a mech action. Yeah. Let me look at this. Vehicle actions: battle, destroy, maneuver, bombard, manipulators. I think this is scan.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna say this is kind of like a setup action. What that means is like you're setting up another person for it. So maybe the more info you learn, the more Verb can tear this thing apart.
Yeah, perfect.
Basically. So yeah, so you got one die. I say this is you went from risky to controlled. You're in a very good position. I'm saying this is standard effect, which is gonna be good intel, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Do you want to push yourself? Take a collateral die?
Trying to think of like how far we are into this mission, since I have 4 stress left that I can take.
If this is a mech, you push yourself using your quirks.
So
you got 4 quirks. Yeah.
I think this counts as precise targeting.
Oh yeah.
So
right.
I will push myself.
Yeah. Use up 1 quirk, you get an extra die, so you're now 2 dice. Do you want to take a collateral?
I think I think it's complicated enough. So I'll just take the 2 dice.
Yeah, and you're in a control position, so not many bad things can happen.
Okay. Well, that's a 1 and a 6, so I'm glad I pushed myself.
God, everyone keeps getting 6s. What's up with this? Man, I ran a Spyro game last Thursday, where I swear every roll except for 1 was like a 9 or a 10. So I couldn't do anything. No, I'm fine. It's fine. Yeah. So I think I kind of like this idea that like you're scatting this mech, and then maybe like the mosquito drone lands on it and kind of like drills into it to like scan the insides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
what are mosquitoes for if it's not to like puncture the skin of things, right?
I'm sure mosquitoes have other uses besides.
Should I mark that as one of the weapon or one of the gear on the drone, which can have 2?
Oh yeah. I
think that's what, melee weapon, probably. Yeah. Let me see. I know I have melee weapons on here somewhere.
Could be just an unusual weapon.
There we go. Unusual weapon. Oops, I guess I wouldn't X that because that's yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, it's tricky. I think you write it down there. You can carry 2 load.
Drill. There we go.
Nice. So yeah, I think. Yeah, you kind of drill into it, and you kind of scan the insides, and yeah, it's a real higgledy-piggledy kind of mech. It seems like it seems old. It seems one that's kind of been rebuilt again and again, and it looks like it's been through a lot. And it's definitely not like a corporatocracy kind of mech. Yeah, it just looks. It doesn't look like it fits the aesthetic.
Right.
Yeah. So I think. Sorry, I just realized I have to look at the other squads now. It's like, and I think like when you get like schematics, maybe you will feed that into Intel, and you find that the Malefica is like it's a mech that's rarely seen, but whenever it does, it always shows up to protect Alderman mergers and acquisitions, kind of like property. And I think there's a detail in Dust Eye's obituary, or at least the report on the place that they died, that they spotted like something glowing, some big hulking thing glowing underground, which is kind of like weird. So one of the things you get as well is like this mech is adaptable.
Okay.
Not just underwater, but it can go underground, and you can see that like there are like ports where it can attach legs, or like insect legs.
Cool.
So could be
Nice.
part of your aesthetic. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, it's one that's like rarely showed up, but definitely I think I'm gonna say like, yeah, it's probably from the autocracy. That's the kind of like vibe I'm getting. So
Okay.
I've just declared the Evangelion Empire to be steampunks, therefore they're terrible.
Okay, and they're apparently interested in helping out the alderman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think maybe because it's a 6, I'll give you something extra. Your mosquito drone patches into like the comms, and you hear that soft voice that Vagabond and Crux heard. In fact, when we cut away to maybe Crux and Vagabond looking over this, they see the blonde woman kind of holding up the data pad and talking to someone. You can hear her, and you hear this woman's voice go, "I hope you're not having too much trouble, Cordelia. I have great faith in you. Remember that." And you hear this rough, kind of like gruff voice that you've heard 2 times before, one from the cuckoo and one from another from Crux. Can I just go, I know, I'm doing my job. Just leave me to it. It'll be fine, CEO. And
Okay.
yeah, and then they switch off the comms. Sorry, I've just pulled out the add another Crux complication.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a lot of info. I think you can, if you want, you can beam that up to Verb. Or
Oh yeah,
something.
absolutely.
I think you also get like, I'll say so, you get like more generic stuff like how they fight. They've got a lot of guns on their back, but you can also shoot out more drones for sure. It's not just the big angler eye thing.
Okay.
For sure. It's like a lot of remote vehicles. So you can patch that into Verb, and that could be like a setup action, so they have a better effect.
Yeah, definitely will warn Verb to watch for more drones. That's probably the most immediately important information to relay.
I'm gonna go to Verb for like a bit, and then we come back to Vagabond. So Verb, you hear the info. You're facing up this like horrible steampunk mech that apparently can take multiple horrible forms. What do you do?
Yeah, so my primary goal is to frighten the people on the yacht.
Okay.
And right now I'm kind of standing in between this mech and the yacht.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to like disengage and put the yacht between us.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a risky. Oh, not risky. It's gonna be an action roll because they could try to fire on you as you're doing this. For sure.
I hope they do.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what are you rolling to do this?
I think it's maneuver probably.
Yeah. When you maneuver, you
Yeah.
move your vehicle with skill and agility.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be, because of your success crushing the drone, it's going to be controlled. It would have been standard. It would have been limited, but you have your mobility suite, so it went up to standard. And JD's information moves it up to great. So controlled great. Literally the best position and effect you could be in.
I was ready to swap position for effect anyways, but don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You got 2 dice. Do you want to push yourself? Take a collateral die.
Yeah, let me exhaust my thundering engines quirk here to sort of push myself.
Oh yeah. It's got 3 dice. Controlled, great. Everyone rolls 6s whenever on Forge in the Dark. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay.
Yay! Highest was a 4.
All right, yeah, 4 is still good. 4 is still a success. Out of controlled, it's pretty good. Okay, let's see. Let me look at the consequences for 4. Okay, I think actually here's what happens in a 4 to 5 control. There's a hesitation. I think the hesitation is you can see like the gun all like I'm gonna say there's like 10 kind of like small guns on the back of this anglerfish, and they're all trained at you, and you can tell that they're gonna get some hits in as you do this maneuvering ability. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna succeed with a controlled consequence. Let's look at these consequences. Okay, simple enough. I think, you're gonna take level 1 damage. You're gonna just start shooting, and it's a lot of concentrated small fire. It's not like artillery shots, It's a lot of like kind of like fire, and they don't get in the biggest hits in, but they do get like good hits in. So you're gonna take a level 1 damage. To
Okay.
the ridicule. Do you want to resist that, or you're fine taking that?
Oh, I can definitely resist that. Yeah.
Actually, I would say I just realized because of the new healing rules, you actually just get rid of level 1 harm once you're done with a mission. What's gonna happen is like whenever you do something that could be affected by your harm, you're gonna take less effect for the rest of the mission, but you will lose it once the mission's done because it's level 1. Do you want to take it or do you want to resist it?
I think it'd be a good idea to try to. Oh wait. So I would have to exhaust 2 quirks, basically.
Yes, that's the thing. Or use up your armor.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any armor right now, unless I come with 1 for free.
Oh, yeah, you've used up your gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll take it for now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're just about done with this. You just need to get the corpse and get out of here.
Yeah, and I'd like to think too, like, I'm hoping that like as part of like what this looks like as I do this like thrustered backflip or whatever over this giant yacht, that like the guns sort of like track me as I kind of fly over, and like doesn't hit any of the passengers, but like there's like cannon fire going on around them, and they're like, oh.
Yeah. I think from Vagabond and Crux's like perspective, you hear the guns firing, you hear the sound of the miracle frame positioning themselves, and the people inside who are listening to the dubstep Beethoven just kind of like it's kind of like what's happening. And I think like the blonde lady, the CEO, just kind of like it's kind of like takes up like Pia and says, "Don't be alarmed. That is just a security going. We're just about ready to close up the auction. Please place your last bids in. If you know who to talk to, you know who to talk to." And I think she's looking just like a bit more harassed. Like maybe there's like a hair that's out of place from her haircut. And she looks to the other side of like the ballroom, and she can see Abel Pembroke is just kind of like just watching her. It's kind of like have this like kind of face. Vagabond, what's your relationship with Mr. Pembroke? Just curious, because like it's a mutual thing, rivalry.
I think we only met once when he was he showed up on the colony and made an announcement that everybody was getting booted off.
Yeah, human resources, huh?
And I definitely got up in his face and told him that wasn't happening.
Pretty much. Yeah. I think you see him cross the dance floor and just suddenly like find this like random guy and just start dancing with him, and you can tell they're like whispering, they're talking about the auction and whatnot. Um but I think there's like this air now of like, ooh, what the fuck's happening? Um so there's and the woman's just waved away the three that were guarding around the pillar. Yeah, Vagabond, what do you do?
Uh, so I don't know what this would count as. Like, I want to have like a remote, a remote triggerable, uh, like basically firecracker sort of thing, to make it sound like there are shots being fired somewhere else in the bowl.
Mm. Um, this could be like flares, flash. I don't know. That's illumination. Let me look at your gear. Yeah, frags, flash, or smoke grenade. I'm gonna count that as like firecrackers.
Displaced explosives count?
I mean, you could put it in one of the blanks and just say like noisemakers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there are blanks. Yeah. Well, you can just have a smartphone. That's amazing. Sorry, I just saw looking at the gear on this. Yeah, absolutely. I can say you place that somewhere on your way here. Yeah. What action are you rolling with?
I'm trying to think what struggle.
Let's see. Let's look at your actions. This is like to make a distraction or to
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. What? Okay, that's not really a sway. Maybe this is a prowl. You have to sneak in to like fool.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense. Cool. Crux, are you helping? Are you assisting with this?
Yeah, I can assist with this.
Cool. What's your belief for Naga?
Let's see here. Yeah, so I mean, I think Naga's kind of a bit of a hard ass. I'm a little intimidated by her, but like I'm also kind of in awe. So I think I'm very much a little puppy following her around, just kind of like, teach me your ways.
Gosh.
Oh, a little cheerleader in the back going, yay!
Well, I hope you're learning a lot from this mission. Mark a stress then, and do you want to give Naga? Actually, I should give the position effect. This is gonna be risky standard. You went up from a desperate, because thanks to Crux's role. Although I could bring you back to a desperate. Sure, I can waste a consequence on that. I think like because of the firing, Abel Pembroke just kind of like makes this like gesture, and more of those blokes in the helmets kind of come into the room. If you want to be in a desperate position, I'm not going to do that. You get your XP. It's fine. Oh yeah, Crux. Did you want to give an extra die, better position, or better effect? Right now they're desperate standard.
How many die are we at?
2.
2.
I have 2. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give an extra die.
Okay, cool. 3 dice, desperate standard. Do you want to push yourself? Take a collateral?
Yeah, I'll take a stress die. I'll take a. I'll push myself basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 2 more stress.
Yeah. Okay. Roll them dice.
Okay, I'll take this one and add it to that roll. Oh, all fours.
Four. Well, four is still good. Here's what a four gets you. It's gonna create a 6-step clock called Escape with a Bellow. You feel without your any means whatsoever, you're gonna win. Yeah. And the 4 is going to add 1 tick to, let's see, no, Desperate Standard, no. Add 2 ticks to the Abel Pembroke rival clock. So 4 is good, but on the Desperate, mark XP, and Desperate Consequences. Let's see what we got here. Whew, okay, all right. I think, let's see, 1 risky and 1, okay, cool. You can't really move to a worse position. I am just gonna adjust the clock by 3 ticks, and that clock is gonna be the yacht escapes. Do you want to resist that? I think you're gonna feel the yacht suddenly start moving real quick. It means it's gonna move. I think like what's gonna happen is like it's gonna move quick. But it's still gonna be between Verb and the Angler mech, but it's gonna move quicker because it's realized it's under attack.
I mean, I'd like to resist it, but I don't know how I would.
Yeah, how do you resist?
No,
The resist is always successful. That's the thing. It always is. It's just like we don't have. It'd be neat to justify it in fiction, but the thing with the resistance, it's always going to be successful.
I'm not sure I can risk it actually.
How many? 2, 3. Oh, okay. You have 5 stress. Yeah, because well, you can risk it. I'm going to say this is going to be with your prowess because it's about how well you time these firecrackers going. You roll 4 dice. Resistance costs 6 stress minus the highest die you roll on a resistance roll.
Okay.
But it's a risk. 4 dice.
I'll try.
Okay, all right.
Re-roll these 4 again.
Watch you roll 4 2s.
Don't. 6.
No, you rolled 2 6s. You rolled a crit, which means you actually lose a stress. Yeah.
Where are you looking?
Oh, what did you roll? I thought I rolled. Did you roll 2
It's
6s?
It's 6 3 1 4 over here.
Oh, all right, never mind. Sorry, I thought you rolled. Where are you? Where am I looking? I thought you rolled 2 6s. Sorry. That's 6 anyway. So 6 minus 6. Yeah, you roll 0 stress. I think the yacht is still moving fast, but yeah, I think you're gonna resist that. So I think firecrackers go off, and I think you're gonna get out of the desperate position as like more people kind of start leaving. They're kind of like they're a bit panicking. They're like, oh, we need to get out of here. We need to call in our folks. Okay, I think we have 5 more minutes, so we're gonna cliffhanger this for the moment. I want a shot of each of your characters. Maybe we'll find out where JD actually is, or maybe we can save that. We'll save that for next week. Okay, what's like the last shot we see of Verb or JD? Unless you actually want to save that.
So okay. Let me look at something real quick here, because okay, so the out escapes is not actually a tick 10. Cool. In that case, you see JD's mech like sort of detach from the rubble of the like broken bridge it was clinging to and start moving like toward the yacht underwater.
I think I think I have a response shot for each of these, whatever you pick. I think in the camera sense, I think we get a shot of this blonde CEO lady. She's just like, it's auction, but just better keep going. And she goes back to her data pad because she's busy working. You know, she's always working. And then she sees. Then we see like a picture of JD. What's the name of your home world?
It doesn't have one.
Yeah. Well, we can just say it's your home world.
One. Yeah. Okay.
I think we see like a picture of your home world that she's looking at on her data pad, and then she flicks through the images, and there's like a report from Dust Eye. You can clearly tell.
Good.
So that's fun stuff. Okay, so that's my response shot to you. Who else has a closing shot of like just like what we see of them as we're cliffhangering this?
So we see Verb like lift this giant like Grim Reaper scythe like up above her head, and like it's looked like posed to like cut the whole yacht in half.
Yeah. I think response shot is we get like a shot of the coffin, for lack of a better term, because that's what it is. It's a coffin, and there is kind of like this light, kind of like singing kind of sound, like a choral kind of sound. It doesn't sound like Vagabond's friend, but it sounds like it's this hymn, kind of like almost emanating from it. And it hasn't reached Verb yet, but it's probably going to reach her when we come back. Who else?
If it's okay, can I establish a flashback for this?
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that Crux actually tucked in the little Crux cube into her breast pocket before leaving, and then I think after that flashback we see I think that the Crux feels the cube start like it starts heating up, and then hears in a low whisper from the cube, we meet again, in that kind of slow, creepy tone.
Yeah. I think like we get a shot of Crux kind of like reacting, and then it cuts to inside the Angler mech, and this pilot who again looks a lot like Crux but way older. The difference is the hairstyle this time. We're gonna do proper orphan. We're gonna orphan black this shit. She has this like shaved kind of like side cut, and the rest of her hair is like cascading on the right side of her face, and it's kind of like this weird neon kind of gray. You can see like she looks like battle scarred, like wearied, kind of like a proper like veteran kind of soldier. And she kind of like reacts when she hears like the cube's voice, and then she kind of like sighs as it kind of like sinks back into her mech cockpit, which is kind of like this proper Star Wars kind of like cockpit where there's like a lot of weird gears, and it's a crappy kind of chair. This mech is like barely holding together. But yeah, we get a shot of the pilot, and it's another Crux. And Vagabond.
I think we like get a shot of Vagabond's like holster, and she's got like one hand like easing the gun out, and sort of the camera pans up to her face where she's just looking down through the vent with narrow eyes, like the killer glare sort of look.
Yeah, gosh. And I think the response shot to that is we get a shot of inside the coffin, and you see this figure kind of like held in like suspended kind of animation. It's a fancy kind of coffin where there's got these like port lights on the side, and it's holding them up. And I think like when Naga makes like that movement, I think Abello takes a breath. And roll credits, ending theme, Fly Me to the Moon. No, that's Evangelion. That's Evangelion. Yeah. All right. So we close another session. Thanks very much, folks. Sorry if like the session is like a bit more truncated. You know, stuff happens. It is what it is. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed yourself. More mech action usual, more intrigue. Hopefully we'll unspool these thoughts when we get to them. But again, thanks very much, folks. I'm gonna stop recording. And yeah, we'll see you all next week. Bye, YouTube.